Understood, but I think this, and second question, again about protecting the taxpayers. I think in some of our informal discussions when we asked why $700 billion and over how long a period of time, one of you, I think, somebody mentioned it would cost about, we'd probably use about $50 billion a month. If that's the case, and you're certainly not going to use all $700 billion immediately, and as you can see, there are a lot of questions about whether this would work. We understand you've done your best. You think this would work best, but it's clearly we're in uncharted waters with Scylla and Charybdis around. What about doing this in tranches? Why couldn't you ask us for $150 billion, and on January 15th or January 20th, we would come back, we'd assess how this worked, and grant some more money if it's really working. Maybe, you know, the markets will have stabilized and you actually will have made money. Why ask for the full $700 billion? I never thought I'd think that $150 billion is a low sum of money, but compared to $700 billion it is, and I think it would make people sit not easily, but at least a little easier.
I'll give you my answer, Senator. I think you got at it when you said, and when we come back in January, because what we need to do is we need to stabilize the system, and we need to, this is on market, based on market, we need market confidence, and we need the tools to work with. Now, of course we plan to do this in tranches. And again, as a number of people have said, this is not an expenditure. I know that this doesn't fit into your outlay system in Congress. The taxpayer is on the hook.
Yes,
but
yes,
again, it's purchasing assets. They'll be held. They'll be sold. Money will come back in.
Understood.
Come back in. But to your basic question, we think we need the full authority for that size to do the job and stabilize the markets.
Could you live with less?
That does not mean that it's going to be invested, be spent between now and January. We're going to live with less.
I think people would feel better if we did this and we could come back and reassess it. As I said, it's uncharted waters, so I'm not asking you to support it now, but again, could the system work if we put in the legislation, say, this is the first tranche, and by January 15th, say, just pick a date, Congress will come back and re-examine?
I think that would be a grave mistake.
And why?
Because I think what this is about market confidence and having the tools to do the job.
Well,
we're going to do this in tranches, but I'm wondering when Congress is gone, and if we need this, what it is we do. And so again,
well, the President, if there's an emergency in any type, if this doesn't work over the next 2 months, and the cataclysm that Chairman Bernanke has talked about, you're going to have to call us back into session if you need some other type of authority. I have to tell you, I'd ask you to think about this. I know ideally you'd like to just have as much as possible, but you're not going to use $700 billion in these 3 months. It's a huge sum of money, even $150 billion, and the confidence of the markets will be determined by how well it works initially, not by how much money you have in your pocket next to your bazooka.
Well, I would say, with all due respect, Senator, you're going to have to decide. The two of us have made the recommendation of what is required. As you said, this will not be spent or invested right away. It's going to be done in tranches, and all we're doing is giving you, again, I don't like to be in this position asking for things and you know, answering to the American taxpayer on this. I think this is, but it's a sad story, but the American taxpayer, as I said, is already on the hook. And, you know, here's the other thing I want to say to you, because it's so important. This is not about big financial institutions. Every American employer depends on money flowing through our financial system every day, not just to create new jobs, but to sustain and keep existing jobs. What we're playing with here is very important, and again, give us the tools we need to make this work.
Thank you, Senator Schumer, very much. Senator Hagel. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.